There are many other laws. You knowing those really helps. So one of them is the Miller's law. Miller law says that an average person can keep only 7 items, or like minus plus minus 2. So basically, who is very sharp, who has got sharp memory, he might be able to keep 9 elements, 9 items in his mind, in his brain. But others can, on an average, keep 5. So you should not feed in a lot of information. So that's why it says that chunk content in groups of 5 to 9 in order to not overload the user's short-term memory. As we earlier understood that memories are of three types, the short memory only keeps few elements, so we should not chunking or putting a lot of information in human mind. It is very important in the case of first-time users. So when they come onto your website, it should be simple and easy to use rather than complicated. And less information should be put in front, important because we keep interacting and learning new things every day. So putting a lot of information will be overload and will affect the experience. The other is progressive disclosure. Users don't like too much information in one go. So as a UX designer, we should be progressively disclosing the information. Show some information and then in the next step show the other information. Interface is easier to use when complex features are gradually revealed later rather than all at a time. And during the onboarding, show only the core features rather than all the features. So this is basically the progressive disclosure. So don't show everything in one go, but progressively show information to the user. There's another law, it's called as Tesla's law, and it says that we can't simplify everything. Some systems, some processes are complex, and if you try to simplify that, there are chances that will increase complexity somewhere else. So total complexity of a system is constant. Like in the case of the hotel booking application or any travel application, the complexity is already there. So if you try to simplify that, it will affect the experience. So this was Tesla's law. And then we have von Restorff effect. So von Restorff effect basically says that when multiple things are placed in a place, so one that is very different or visually different catches the attention of the user. So if you want the information to be noticed, it should be visually different. If you want some sections on some product to be looked by the user, you should make it different. You should make it stand out. And this is mostly done by putting different colors, different font size, different effects. The next is the Doherty threshold. This basically talks about the response time. If the response time is less than 400 milliseconds, then the user will be interested in using the experience or in the design or the application or the system. But in case it takes more than 400 milliseconds, he might lose the interest. So if you want to increase the productivity of the application, you need to keep your systems, the response time very fast. Then law of common region. So law of common region is also important. It basically talks about grouping, keeping elements together. If you want to keep elements together, either create a boundary or you need to create a certain style for that group. And this should be used in the UX design if you want to present one or different products and which are of same category. You should be using the law of common region to present that. And that can be done by either adding a small border or putting a background to it. And it's very useful in everyday design process. Like we had law of common region, law of proximity also talks about the same thing. Objects that are near or close to each other are considered as groups. Pareto principle is also important from the UX point because it says that roughly 80% of the effects comes from 20% of the causes. So if you want to improve the experience of the user, you should see like what are the minimal efforts required to bring about the maximum change. So instead of working on all the features at a time, work on the features that is the most important features for the user. And then comes the peak end rule. So people judge an experience largely based on how they felt at its peak and its end, rather than the total sum or the average of every moment of the experience. So how they felt at the beginning and the end is the most important. So the journey should be defined in a way that in the beginning it's easy and at the end it's very interesting, valuable and helpful. So we should try to define our experience in using this peak and end rule. Also, there is another called a serial position effect. The users have a propensity to best remember the first and the last items in a row. So if you want to sell your product, what you can do is you can keep the important or the items that you want to sell in the beginning of the experience and at the end of the experience. This really helps in selling and increasing conversions. So this is what serial position effect talks about. Then is Zeigarnik effect. This talks about that people remember uncompleted tasks. Like we saw earlier, the progress bars, they don't see what they've already completed. What they see is like how much is left. So we should take the advantage of this and also start using this in our experiences. The other is the aesthetic usability effect. So this is important because this talks about the visual design. What looks good, feel good. Designs should be pleasing. If the designs are good, people will like using it, even though it has flaws. So that is for the day, guys. I've discussed like different laws of psychology, the human brain, how it works, how they process information, and why it is important for the UX designers.